Welcome to Biography with Plutarch, where we delve into the lives of extraordinary individuals, seeking to understand the intricacies of human character and the profound impact it has on our shared experience. Today, we embark on a fascinating journey through the life of Marcel Duchamp, a pioneer of conceptual art, whose innovative spirit and intellectual curiosity continue to inspire and provoke us to this day. As we step into the world of Marcel Duchamp, we find ourselves in the picturesque village of Blainville-Crevon, nestled in the rolling hills of Normandy, France. The year is 1887, and the air is alive with the sweet scent of blooming wildflowers and the soft chirping of birds. It is here, on July 28th, that Marcel Duchamp was born, the fourth of 7 children to Eugène and Lucie Duchamp. His early life was marked by a comfortable bourgeois upbringing, with his family's modest means supplemented by his father's position as a notary. The tranquil environment, surrounded by the lush green landscapes and rustic charm of Normandy, would later influence Duchamp's artistic sensibilities and his penchant for challenging conventional norms. As a child, Marcel demonstrated a keen interest in art, encouraged by his family, particularly his older brother Raymond, who would also become an artist. The brothers' creative inclinations were nurtured by their mother, Lucie, who had a talent for playing the piano and introduced them to the world of music and art. She would often take Marcel and Raymond on long walks through the countryside, pointing out the intricate details of nature, the way the light danced through the leaves, the texture of tree bark, and the vibrant colors of wildflowers. These early experiences sparked Marcel's imagination, and he began drawing and painting at a young age, exhibiting a natural aptitude that would eventually lead him to pursue a career in the arts. The late 19th and early 20th centuries were a time of great cultural and intellectual transformation in France, with the likes of Claude Monet, Pierre-Auguste Renoir, and Camille Pissarro pushing the boundaries of artistic expression. The Duchamp family's proximity to Paris, the epicenter of this creative ferment, allowed Marcel to absorb the vibrant atmosphere, attending exhibitions, and engaging with the avant-garde movements that were redefining the art world. As he grew older, Marcel would often sneak away from his family's summer vacations in Normandy to visit the capital city, where he would spend hours exploring the Louvre, the Musée d'Orsay, and other iconic institutions, drinking in the masterworks of the past and present. Marcel's formal education began at the Lycée Corneille in Rouen, a prestigious school that fostered a strong emphasis on academic rigor and intellectual curiosity. Here, he excelled academically, particularly in mathematics and physics, demonstrating a keen mind and a passion for problem-solving. However, his true passion lay in art, and he spent much of his free time sketching, painting, and exploring the city's museums and galleries. His notebooks from this period are filled with meticulous drawings of machines, bridges, and other industrial structures, revealing an early fascination with the intersection of art and technology. In 1904, Duchamp moved to Paris to pursue a career in art, enrolling in the Académie Julian, where he studied under the tutelage of Jean-Léon Gérôme, a prominent painter of the time. The Académie Julian was a hotbed of artistic innovation, attracting students from all over Europe who were eager to push the boundaries of traditional representation. It was here that Marcel befriended a circle of like-minded artists, including his brother Raymond, who would later become a key figure in the development of Cubism. During his early years in Paris, Marcel became acquainted with the works of the Fauves, a group of artists known for their bold and vibrant use of color. He was particularly drawn to the work of Henri Matisse, whose innovative approach to form and composition would later influence Duchamp's own artistic experimentation. As he navigated the city's bustling art scene, Marcel also encountered the likes of Guillaume Apollinaire, a poet and critic who would become a close friend and mentor, introducing him to the world of Cubism and the intellectual circles that surrounded it. Apollinaire, with his wild hair and provocative writings, was a magnet for artistic talent, and his salon became a hub for the city's most innovative thinkers. It was here that Marcel met the likes of Pablo Picasso, Georges Braque, and Juan Gris, all of whom were redefining the boundaries of art and challenging the conventional norms of representation. As Duchamp immersed himself in this vibrant community, he began to develop his own unique voice, one that would blend the intellectual rigor of Cubism with a deep sense of humor and irreverence. The seeds of his revolutionary approach to art, which would eventually lead him to create some of the most iconic and thought-provoking works of the 20th century, were sown in these formative years, shaped by the cultural and intellectual landscape of France during a time of great transformation and innovation. As Marcel Duchamp's artistic career began to take shape, he found himself at the forefront of a revolution in modern art, one that would challenge the very foundations of creativity and originality. In 1911, he participated in the Salon des Indépendants, where his painting, Nude Descending a Staircase, No. 2, caused a stir among the Parisian art world. The work's radical departure from traditional representation, with its fragmented forms and multiple perspectives, would become a hallmark of Duchamp's innovative style. As visitors to the salon walked through the crowded rooms, they were met with a cacophony of colors and shapes, but it was Duchamp's piece that seemed to reverberate with an otherworldly energy, as if the very fabric of time and space had been torn apart. The following year, Duchamp's friendship with Guillaume Apollinaire deepened, and he became a regular at the poet's salon, where he met other influential figures such as Constantin Brancusi and Eric Satie. This circle of artists and intellectuals would play a significant role in shaping Duchamp's artistic vision, encouraging him to push the boundaries of what was possible. The salon, with its worn velvet armchairs and smoke-filled air, was a place where ideas were debated and creativity was sparked. It was here that Duchamp first began to explore the concept of the ready-made, an idea that would become a defining feature of his work. In 1913, Duchamp created one of his most iconic works, Bottle Rack, a ready-made sculpture that consisted of an ordinary bottle rack purchased from a hardware store. By presenting this mundane object as art, Duchamp challenged traditional notions of creativity and originality, sparking a debate about the very nature of art itself. The bottle rack, with its utilitarian design and humble materials, seemed to mock the grandiose pretensions of traditional art, reducing it to a simple, everyday object. As Duchamp himself once said, "I chose the bottle rack because it was an ordinary, mundane thing, something that nobody would think of as art." And yet, by declaring it art, Duchamp had transformed it into something extraordinary. A commentary on the role of the artist in society and the arbitrary nature of beauty. As the years passed, Duchamp's fascination with the concept of the ready-made only grew stronger. In 1915, he created In Advance of the Broken Arm, a snow shovel that he purchased from a New York hardware store and declared to be art. This work, like many others that followed, was not created by Duchamp's own hand, but rather selected and presented by him as a commentary on the role of the artist in society. The snow shovel, with its sturdy handle and metal blade, seemed to embody the rugged individualism of American culture, while also highlighting the absurdity of declaring an everyday object art. Duchamp's relationships with his contemporaries were also pivotal during this period. His friendship with Man Ray, for example, led to a series of collaborations, including a collection of photographs that showcased Duchamp's ready-mades in innovative and often humorous ways. One such photograph, taken by Man Ray in 1921, features Duchamp's Why Not Sneeze, a sculpture composed of marble cubes and a thermometer which appears to be floating in mid-air. The image, with its playful use of perspective and lighting, seems to capture the whimsical spirit of Dadaism, while also highlighting the complex interplay between object and context. The 1920s also saw Duchamp's increasing involvement with the Dada movement, a loose collective of artists and writers who sought to challenge traditional notions of art and reality. As a key figure in this movement, Duchamp played a significant role in shaping its aesthetic and philosophical underpinnings, often incorporating elements of chance and randomness into his work. The Dadaists, with their irreverent attitude and love of absurdity, seemed to embody the spirit of rebellion that had defined modern art since the early 20th century. One notable example of this approach can be seen in The Large Glass, a complex and enigmatic work that Duchamp began in 1915 and continued to develop over the next several years. This piece, also known as The Bride Stripped Bare by Her Bachelors even, features a delicate network of lines and shapes that appear to defy gravity and logic. As Duchamp himself once observed, "The large glass is not a picture, it's an instrument, and I'm the one who plays it." The work, with its intricate patterns and symbolic language, seems to embody the mystical and the mysterious, inviting the viewer to decipher its hidden meanings. Throughout his career, Duchamp's work was marked by a sense of playfulness and irreverence, as well as a deep intellectual curiosity. His willingness to challenge conventional norms and push the boundaries of what was possible would inspire generations of artists to come, from Andy Warhol to Jasper Johns. For Duchamp, art was not just a form of self-expression or a means of communicating ideas, it was a way of questioning the very fabric of existence. By presenting everyday objects as art, he forced us to confront our own biases and preconceptions, to see the world in a new and unfamiliar light. In this sense, Duchamp's work can be seen as a form of existential inquiry, a probing of the human condition that seeks to uncover the underlying truths of existence. His use of ready-mades, with their emphasis on chance and randomness, seems to underscore the arbitrary nature of reality, highlighting the ways in which our perceptions are shaped by context and circumstance. And yet, despite its philosophical complexity, Duchamp's work remains remarkably accessible, speaking to a wide range of audiences and inspiring new generations of artists and thinkers. His legacy can be seen in everything from pop art to conceptualism, from the playful provocations of Jeff Koons to the cerebral puzzles of Joseph Kosuth. As the years passed, Marcel Duchamp's artistic output slowed, but his influence on the art world only continued to grow, like a gentle yet persistent whisper that resonated through the corridors of creativity. In the 1960s, he became a celebrated figure in the United States, with major retrospectives at the Pasadena Art Museum and the Philadelphia Museum of Art. These exhibitions not only solidified his reputation as a pioneer of conceptual art, but also introduced his work to a new generation of artists, including Andy Warhol and Jasper Johns, who would go on to revolutionize the art world in their own right. 1912, drawing crowds and sparking intense debate. The exhibitions also featured lesser-known pieces, showcasing the breadth and depth of Duchamp's oeuvre, from his early experiments with cubism to his later explorations of chance and randomness. As visitors navigated the galleries, they were confronted with the provocative question, what constitutes art? Is it the object itself, or the idea behind it? Despite his advancing age, Duchamp remained intellectually curious, his mind still ablaze with creative fervor. In the 1960s, he became fascinated with the concept of inframints, or the infinitesimally small difference between two seemingly identical things. This idea would occupy him for the remainder of his life, as he sought to explore the boundaries between perception and reality. He spent hours poring over philosophical texts, engaging in lively debates with friends and colleagues, and experimenting with new techniques in his studio. As Duchamp delved deeper into the mysteries of inframints, he began to see the world as a complex web of subtle distinctions where the slightest variation could fundamentally alter our understanding of reality. This fascination with the infinitesimal led him to create works that were at once enigmatic and profound, challenging viewers to re-examine their assumptions about the nature of art and perception. For example, his series of inframints drawings, which explored the minute differences between identical-looking lines, forced observers to confront the limits of their own perceptual abilities. In 1968, Duchamp's wife Teenie suffered a stroke, and he devoted himself to her care, putting his artistic pursuits on hold. Despite his own failing health, he continued to work on his art, often incorporating elements of chance and randomness into his pieces. As he once said, "The creative act is not performed by the artist alone, the spectator brings the work in contact with the external world by deciphering and interpreting its inner qualification, and thus adds his contribution to the creative act," which had long been a guiding principle of his artistic philosophy, took on new meaning as he navigated the challenges of caring for his beloved wife. As Duchamp's health began to decline, his friends and colleagues rallied around him, paying tribute to his enduring influence on the art world. Andy Warhol, Jasper Johns, and John Cage were among those who visited him regularly, engaging in lively conversations about art, philosophy, and life. These visits not only brought comfort to Duchamp, but also served as a reminder of the profound impact he had had on their own work. Marcel Duchamp passed away on October 2, 1968, at the age of 81, leaving behind a legacy that would continue to shape the art world for generations to come. His funeral was attended by many of the most prominent artists and intellectuals of the time, including Warhol, Johns, and Cage, who came to pay their respects to a man who had inspired them to push the boundaries of creativity. As they gathered to bid farewell to their friend and mentor, they knew that Duchamp's influence would continue to resonate through the art world, challenging future generations to rethink the very notion of what it means to create. Today, Duchamp is remembered as one of the most important and influential artists of the 20th century. His work continues to inspire new generations of artists, from conceptualists to installation artists who draw upon his innovative spirit and intellectual curiosity. As the art historian and critic Harold Rosenberg once observed, Duchamp's significance lies in his having transformed the artist's role from that of a maker of objects to that of a thinker who uses objects as a means of expressing ideas. This transformation, which Duchamp pioneered, has had far-reaching consequences for the art world, opening up new possibilities for creative expression and challenging traditional notions of what constitutes art. His willingness to challenge conventional norms and push the boundaries of what was possible has inspired countless individuals to think differently about creativity, perception, and reality. As he once said, "Can one make works which are not works of art?" This question, which lies at the heart of his artistic project, continues to resonate with us today, inviting us to reconsider our assumptions about the nature of art and the human experience. Duchamp's legacy serves as a powerful reminder that art is not just a form of self-expression, but a way of engaging with the world, of questioning our assumptions, and of seeking new ways of understanding ourselves and our place in the universe. That's all for today's biography with Plutarch. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that understanding the lives of remarkable individuals helps us better understand ourselves.